Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about the holiday season and how to create a stress-free holiday season for your family. It doesn't matter what holiday you're celebrating. I'm making this video in the United States in December, but this applies to any holidays that are significant to you and your family and your community at any time of year. So please take this information and apply it to whatever holiday you happen to be celebrating. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Catherine Endy, the family life coach, and I help parents of 2 to 10-year-olds become more calm, confident, and more connected to their kids so that they can actually enjoy parenting. And if you like more content like this, please like and subscribe. This helps more parents see this content. It helps you see more of this content and really helps to expand and broaden our community here at the Family Life Coach. So go ahead and click that bell so that you get the notifications and subscribe to my channel. So let's talk about the holidays. Like I said, it doesn't matter what holiday you're celebrating. This information applies no matter what special occasion you are planning for. So here's how to have a stress-free holiday season. First, I want to encourage you to decide in advance how you want to feel. So this is going to require you to just spend a little bit of time and maybe spend a little bit of time with your family members thinking about what this experience should feel like to you, what you want this experience to feel like. So this is an intention setting practice that I think most of us skip because we are just on autopilot. We think that there's a certain way it's supposed to go, and we have a model of how holidays are supposed to look. And rather than being intentional with how we want it to feel, we tend to go into autopilot and do a lot of things that are expected of us that aren't necessarily things that we want to do. So I want to encourage you to sit down with your journal or a piece of paper and think about what kind of feelings you want to have as you're leading up to a holiday, on the day of the holiday, if it's a multi-day holiday, throughout that period of time. I want you to think about what kind of feelings do you want to have. It could be feelings of ease and joy and relaxation. And if your kids are old enough, I would like to encourage you to sit with your family and ask them, when you imagine this upcoming holiday, can you think about how you'd like to feel? And for younger kids, you might have to offer some suggestions like happy or excited or joyful. And the truth is, little kids are mostly just excited for the holidays, right? Like they don't necessarily have the same level of stress and anxiety and all of that adults have, which is great. We don't want them to experience that. But we also know that our stress level affects them. So helping kids get into the practice of setting intentions around how they want to feel can be really beneficial. And kids of a certain age, also might have some anxiety about the upcoming holidays, or they might have experienced some disappointment in the past, and they might want to avoid that. So I encourage you to say, when you imagine the upcoming holiday, can you think of how you'd like to feel? And then make a list with your family. You might want to discuss how you don't want to feel. And this might be an opportunity to let your kids know, like, when we have to do a lot of shopping on the weekends or whatever it is, that this is kind of stressful for me. And I don't want to feel rushed or stressed. I don't want to feel disappointed. I don't want to feel a lot of pressure, right? And so you can use it as an opportunity to open a conversation about the other side, the dark side of the holidays. Not to bring your kids down, but just to be real about why we're even doing this intention setting practice in the first place. The next step is to think about what will get you there. So little kids might just say presents or treats or cookies. But you can prompt them for other things like, do they want to go ice skating? Do they want to make gifts for family members? Do they want to bake cookies? Are there other family traditions that they find really important that they want to make sure they do? Because those traditions and those activities will generate the feelings that you've just listed as the way you want to feel. some kids, some families have traditions where every year they go to a certain kind of performance or they go do a certain activity, and you might find out through this process that one of your kids really doesn't like doing that. And that's okay, right? Like, we want to create traditions and practices and activities that feel good to everyone, and not everyone has to do every single thing. So this is an opportunity to get curious and find out from your kids and your spouse and other people in your family what kinds of things would help you generate the feelings that you want to feel. The next step is to decide your limit. So ultimately, you are responsible for making the holidays stress-free for you. And that means you have to find out from within, what is your boundary? You have to find out for yourself how many holiday related activities you can handle. And if that's one a week, great. If that's just one, that's fine too. The whole point here is to create an experience that feels the way you want it to feel. This is going to require you to let go of some of the things that might be expected of you and might have been traditions in your family of origin. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But the important thing is that by deciding on your limit and setting a boundary, you are protecting your peace. And as the leader in your family, as the parent, as the adult, your peace of mind is absolutely critical to the enjoyment and well-being of everyone in your family. No pressure. Also, I want to point out that if you have a highly sensitive or neurodivergent kid, or if you yourself are highly sensitive or neurodivergent, you might need to significantly pare down what you do. People who are highly sensitive or neurodivergent, whether they're on the autism spectrum or have ADHD or other things, can be easily overstimulated, easily overwhelmed. Bright lights, loud noises, too much activity, too much go, 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 right? And when we expose ourselves or our children to too much of that stuff during the holiday season or at any time, it kind of kills the joy, right? Because we're putting them in a situation, or putting ourselves in a situation where there's more than we can handle. For example, I know that in the holiday season, in the winter holiday season in the US, there are a lot of festivals and fairs and activities that involve large crowds. That's fine for some people. And for some of us, that's just too much. So maybe we can handle one of those, but we're not going to do all 7 of them that are scheduled in the month of December. So think through, how much can you handle, and think about your own children. How much can they handle? And that leads us to the next step, which is considering, what can you let go of? You don't have to send holiday cards. I like to. People in my community have come to expect that from me, and I enjoy sending a holiday card, but you don't have to. You don't have to participate in every single family gathering. You don't have to participate in the family Zoom call, if that's a thing. You don't have to buy a million presents. You don't have to cook an elaborate meal. My husband has a family tradition of getting Chinese takeout on Christmas Day. You can modify the expectations to meet the needs of your family. And I want to point out that when you do that, you create so much trust in your relationship with your children, because they see you, A, taking care of yourself, and B, taking care of them and their needs by not exposing them to too much stimulation, by not making the holiday season a crazy time where you're super stressed and snapping at them because you're at your wit's end and you just have too much to do. So keep in mind that while letting go of certain traditions or certain activities might feel like you're giving something up, you're doing it in the service of creating a peaceful and joyful experience for your family. And that's super important. The next step is to communicate. So I know this part gets really tricky if you have extended family that you tend to spend time with over the holidays, or if there are expectations. But I want to encourage you to test this out. Tell your extended family what your plan is. Hold your boundary. They might have feelings about it, and that's okay. Their feelings are not your problem. You are responsible for protecting your own sanity and that of your children and your family. So That might mean setting some boundaries with the grandparents, with the aunts and uncles. It might mean there are certain, friend groups or other members of your community that you would typically get together with that maybe you just say, we can't do it this year. You might make a plan with your parents or your in-laws to have a shorter visit with them, or to, modify the way you get together with them in a way that feels good to you and feels good to your family. And if you're new to setting boundaries with extended family, I know it can be really hard and it takes practice, but I encourage you to do this sooner rather than later, because the more time that goes by, the more expectation there is that your little family is going to show up and do things that other people expect you to do. Now is the time to decide what your family needs and wants, and set expectations and set boundaries accordingly. Finally, I want to encourage you to just keep it simple. The holidays are not fun if the adults are stressed. That's just not. And I don't know about you, but I remember a lot of stress in my family of origin around the holidays. And as a little kid, you're looking at your parents like, why can't we all just relax and have fun? And the reason is that the adults are placing so much pressure on themselves to meet everybody else's expectations. And I want to again reiterate that your job as the parent and the leader in your family is to protect your little family and to create meaningful and joyful and relaxed, fun experiences for your family. If you need help with this, you can go to katherineandy.com/call and let's chat about whether I have a coaching program or other resource to support you through the holiday season, or anytime. I am here for you, and I will see you next time.